The Battle of Plassey was a crucial event in Indian history. The Battle of Plassey took place on June 23, 1757. It wasn't really a battle, considering it only lasted a couple of hours. The battle itself was between the East India Company, directed by Robert Clive, and the army of Siraj-ud-Dowlah, governor of Bengal. Most of the governor's soldiers were bribed to throw away their weapons, surrender prematurely, and turn against their own army. Siraj-ud-Dowlah was killed by his own people. This battle was important to the East India Company's victory over France, but most importantly, it helped to establish British rule in India. The Sepoy Rebellion is one of the most well-known uprisings during the British colonization of India. The rebellion began on Sunday, May 10, 1857, and it was a complete surprise to the British people in India. Many of the British couldn't see the unrest that had been slowly bubbling up since 1748. 1748. The British government began recruiting and training Indians to fight with their weapons and methods to follow the British East India Company. Those Indian units were called sepoys. Eventually, there was an incredible amount of tension that had been building up since 1748. There had already been minor outbreaks with the sepoys before 1857, but they had been quickly and brutally suppressed. A viceroy is a ruler that exercises authority in a colony on behalf of the sovereign. They had lots of power and duties to attend to, such as, but not limited to, collection of royal revenue, enforcement of the laws, the grant of encomiendas until the 18th century. India had 20 viceroys in the past 160 years. The first viceroy, Lord Canning, established the universities of Calcutta, Bombay, and Madras in 1857 and passed the Indian Council Acts in 1861. Lord Mayo established Rajkot College at Katharwar and Mayo College at Ajiram for the Princess of India, and his administration held the first census in 1871. He was also the first viceroy to be murdered in office by a convict in 1872. The last viceroy of India, Lord Mountbatten, convinced Parliament to pass the Indian Independence Act on July 4, 1947. India wasn't actually independent until August 15, 1947. The British modernization Indian society in an attempt to make the locals happy. They offered Western technologies such as railroads. They almost tripled the canal system, and as a result, the Indian farming market improved drastically. They were given free land, and as a result of that, they were making more money than ever. They opened up many schools that improved the standard for Indian education and in turn created more jobs for the Indians. India had a great economy, but Indian scholars believed it was shattered due to foreigners arriving. British scholars, however, believed that it was shattered by overpopulation, religion, caste, social attitude, value system, and other interactions. Nationalist scholars believe that the British leaders in India purposely shattered the economy. Britain also shattered the Indian economy through their industrial and commercial policies that favored the British over the Indians. Opium was known as a keystone commodity. The Indian National Congress is the main Indian political party with broad views. They dominated the Indian movement for independence from Great Britain. The idea of an Indian nationalist movement that was opposed to British rule was first raised in the 1850s. During the party's first few decades, they passed fairly moderate reform resolutions. In the 1930s, the party was led by Mahatma Gandhi, and they began advocating for nonviolent protests. The Indian National Congress has been dominating political parties since 1947 in India.